Not to be confused with the S08 from Moondrop, because this is very different. Hello and thank you for clicking on this video where I'll be sharing my experience on Letshuoer's latest Planar IEM release to celebrate their 8-year anniversary. Congratulations Letshuoer, and this is the Letshuoer S08. At the time of making this video, Letshuoer has not disclosed what the price of this IEM may be, but it's been said that this will be a budget entry, so once I have the official retail price, I'll put it in the description down below. But before we get into that, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Letshuoer for sending this unit in exchange for my honest feedback. However, as always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. If you could help support the channel by hitting that like and subscribe button, that would be greatly appreciated, and I thank you all in advance. Now that's all out of the way, let's talk about accessories, as the unboxing experience is pretty much the same as with all other IEMs, and you should already saw snippets of it during the intro. It comes with the carry case that is similar to the one in S15, but this time in black, but it has a rubbery feel to its surface and it's like a plastic case, so it's not as sturdy as the metal ones, but it's really lightweight and doesn't have that annoying metal twisting sound some cases have. It also comes with interchangeable silicone ear tips, some dubbed the vocal ear tips, some balanced ear tips, but at the end of the day they're all silicone ear tips. Opening the case, you'll be greeted by the stock cable, which looks and feels fine. It's relatively lightweight, rather thin in nature, and it has a triple weave design, but the best part about this cable is that it has interchangeable terminations, so it comes with a 4.4mm termination and a 3.5mm, and it's similar to the stock cable of the Da Vinci, where you have to twist this portion to remove the termination, and the pins are longer, so it almost defeats the purpose of having a groove for alignment because of how long those pins are. So you'd have to align the pins first, then ensure the grooves are aligned before you secure it in. A small oversight there, but overall a very generic cable, but it does the job. Moving to the design of the IEMs themselves, think a chunkier version of the Sennheiser IE series IEMs. Overall, it's still relatively compact in shape. There's the S sculpting on the faceplate with a logo which looks like an L and an R, and I'm not sure if this is meant to be Letshuoer's logo, and if it is, it looks pretty nice. There's the S08 wording on the side of the shell and a bit of depth going into the ear, and overall, it's very simple, but it still has some subtle touches to the design that makes it stand out, especially with 3-dimensionality of the faceplate compared to a flat faceplate surface. I feel the cable pin is angled in such a way where it suits the design of the S08, where it creates a gap to allow for the loop around your ears, and if you're looking to swap to a different cable, you'd have to take that into consideration. Otherwise, in terms of fit and comfort, this IEM, due to its shape, it's very comfortable to wear. It's small, it's compact, it's rounded on its edges, so it doesn't apply any pressure, at least to my ears, and I can wear this IEM for hours no problem. In terms of sound, this is another planar IEM that brings in a warm sounding presentation. It's almost like this is a baby brother or sister to the S15 to a certain extent. The bass has some meat to the bones, it has some impact and slam, it's not as fast in the delivery of its bass presentation, and it sounds like a presentation of a dynamic driver, but either way, it still gives you some fullness to the sound. There's a bit of rumble coming from the deep end, but it's predominantly focusing on the mid bass. There's some warmth coming in from the low end, so it's not the cleanest sounding IEM, but it's not intending to sound that way. There's some sharpness to the S's and T's, but it sounds like there's a bit of roll off in the treble extension where they sound further away and lacking in that air or note attack. Also, despite having some warmth to the vocals does share the stage with the background music, so it does lose the spotlight. If there's one thing that stands out from the S08, and it was the highlight of this IEM as I was listening to it throughout my testing, and that would be in its imaging within the soundstage. The soundstage itself is not to say the widest, but how the details are presented within the soundstage makes the experience sound like it has a bit more depth to it, a bit more 3-dimensionality, but it mostly brings out all the macro details. However, the micro details does get lost within the sound due to the lack of that openness in the sound presentation. So bringing in other IEMs for comparison, the Rose Technics Star CD5 Pro is almost the opposite to the Letshuoer S08. And I know they're coming from two different driver configurations, but in terms of sound, you have a bright, clear and open sounding presentation on the Star CD5 Pro and a bassier, warmer sound from the Letshuoer S08. I give the Star CD5 Pro a bit of edge on its detail retrieval, but I give the S08 the upper hand on how it places the details within the soundstage. They both are relatively compact and uncomfortable comfortable to wear, but the S08 has the benefit of interchangeable terminations for the stock cable. The HiDZ's MP145 is also another planar release with a more affordable price, but the biggest thing that sets it back is the size of the MP145. And compared to the Letshuoer S08, if you're looking for comfort, then the S08 wins this competition hands down. In terms of sound, they are both largely similar, but the MP145 has a bit more vocal presence, is a touch sharper, and it sounds a bit closer to you, so it sounds like you can hear a bit more coming from the music, but it can sound a little bit congested on really busy tracks. If you want a bit more space between you and the sound, that the Letshuoer S08 provides more space in that aspect, and thus giving the positions of sounds a bit more clarity as to where they are within the soundstage. As mentioned earlier, I say the Letshuoer S08 sounds like the little brother or sister to the Letshuoer S15. And in some ways it carries a lot of similar characteristics, such as the roll-off in the treble extension, the warmth from the lower frequencies, bringing in that weight in vocal notes, the all-in-one kind of presentation with the vocal at center stage, surrounded by the background music enveloping your head. However, the key differences between the two is that, in terms of resolution, the Letshuoer S15 still brings a touch more details from the sound presentation, but it has less bass impact compared to the Letshuoer S08, though the S15 still sounds a touch faster. In terms of fit and comfort, the S08 is still a better fit due to its shape and design, so it'll be very interesting to see how much differences in terms of its cost between the two. I think the biggest drawback of the Letshuoer S15, at least from reading people's feedback, is that it's priced too high. So let's see if the S08's release is meant to tackle those feedback and present an alternative to the Letshuoer S15. So in summary, I'm actually really excited for this IEM. If the Letshuoer S08 comes out to be similar or cheaper than the S12, I think we may have a really competitive budget planar IEM, because as I said earlier, it's like a baby S15 with its warm sounding presentation, yet still delivering great imaging capabilities. And while I haven't personally heard of the S12, but from reading and listening to other people's experiences, it would seem the Letshuoer S08 would be the alternate flavor to the S12. I'm not sure what other IEMs are coming to celebrate Letshuoer's 8-year anniversary, but if the S08 is one of a few that's coming, I'm excited to see what they bring next to the lineup. With that said, I'm curious to know your thoughts. Would you be looking into the S08, or what is your favorite budget planar IEM currently? Comment below and let me know, and once again, thank you again to Letshuoer for this opportunity, and to all of you for watching. Until the next experience, take care and happy listening.